Greetings. So, under embedded programming module, in continuation with the earlier class, programming style and basic structure of a C program, we'll look into the last two parts of the basic structure of a C program. So, as we know that a C program consists of 6 sections: the documentation, link section, definition section, global declaration, main function, and user defined function. So, in the earlier class we have seen up to the global declaration section. So coming to the main function, we know that every C program starts execution from the main. So as we see in the left side of the slide, you have the syntax as int main, and you can write all the statements with a return statement inside the braces, and the components are opening brace, variable declaration, executable statements, return statement, and the closing brace. So this is how you should write a main program. You can look into an example. We have int main, and again this is we can see a statement as printf hello world and return 0. So coming to the next, user defined function. Functions divide large programs into smaller modules, so it's easy to reuse. So you can see the example. You can see a function as void display, and under that we have written as printf welcome. So how can you call a function inside the main program? Instead of writing as printf, you can call the display. So how much of time you need to call the display? It's enough you write a void display function once, and then you can call display. And remember, whatever name is given in the function program, that has to be used here. So suppose you have used a small d, it should be of small d display. If you use a capital D, that will not work. So what are the advantages? Code reuse, and it's easy for debugging. It's enough you just look into that main function alone, small function alone, and it's easy, better readability. And this is a modular programming. And this is a complete structure of a C program. As we have learned already, you have a documentation part, and you have the header file part, and definition functions, and then you have all the declaration, everything, which is a global declaration, and then you have a void display, that is again a calling function, and you have a main function. So this, coming to the programming style, what does it mean? Programming style refers to the way programmers write code to improve readability and maintainability. So what you should understand is you need to have a good programming style. The good programming style includes proper indentation, meaningful variable names, comments, proper spacing, consistent formatting, modular programming. So maybe your program is correct, but when someone reads it, if it's not meaningful and if you could not clearly understand, so that will again comes under bad. So remember, whenever you write a program, when somebody reads it, it should be of clear picture, and it should be, you should have used spacing, everything should be comments, everything should be clean and neat. So poor style leads to difficult to debugging. You will not be able to trace it all. Reduce readability, that's very important. When somebody reads your program, you will not be able to understand. More programming errors, and also it's very difficult to clear the programs too. That's what it's difficult to debug. And good programming practices is what we are going to see. You can see a meaningful variable name is one practice. You can see what is given as good and bad. So we need to have some kind of a student age, so it's meaningful a variable is given as student age. Instead, if you use a, nobody will understand. Similarly, proper indentation, you can see a good example what is given under the good comments. You can see if a is greater than b, print fa. So bad is, you can see the braces are given not properly there, so it should come to the next line. So this is again a proper indentation is a must in case of a thing. And proper spacing, you can say sum is equal to a plus b, and there is no spacing in the other example, which is said to be as bad. And you can see the comments is, you can understand, it's calculate average marks. So hash define pi 3.14, this is right. So instead you can, if you write as area is equal to 3.14 into r square, so instead this is should be avoided. Instead you can use as pi. Okay, so remember the way you write the program, it should be very important, though this is not going to make your program not to run, or it will be making your program to run, but your way of writing will not be good. And common programming errors. What are the common programming errors? One is a syntax error. We can see here you don't you have missed the semicolon in the number 1 box, and you can see in a logical error what is given, area is equal to length plus breadth. So instead of multiplication a plus is given. So this is all simple. Though you have missed some kind of a thing, you should be very careful with this kind of error. So common errors are syntax error, another one is a logical error, and the third one is a runtime error. It's usually division by 0, it's not allowed because it's usually causes an error. So division by 0 is a very common error, runtime error. And the fourth one is a semantic error. So you can see here it's a wrong variable type, int name, what's given instead of a character. When you give a name, it should be of char, it's not an int. So the data type or the variable type, if you wrongly mention, that also will lead into an error. So very common programming errors are syntax error, logical error, runtime error, and the semantic errors. So this is an example that is given. You can see here that the comments, you can see clearly what a comment is given. Program to find the sum of two numbers, and you can see the header, you can see the main, and so you can see the variables that's been declared, and you can see all the words clearly. You can see what is the data that has to be found, input, and what is the output that has to be done. And what is the advantage of good programming styles? As we all know, it improves readability, easier debugging, simplifies maintenance, promotes teamwork, reduces coding error, encourages code reuse, enhances software quality, makes program scalable. So this is very much important when you go when you work in a team. When you write the programming in a good style, then another person will be able to write. So this is very important style for a good programming. Thank you.